All right. Video's over. Let's see who comes over now. Forgot to put up the little thing in the background here, so pardon the mess. Yeah, that was a cool one. This should carry you guys right over to live. Yep, there it is. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Kelly. How are you? Appreciate you guys popping over from the other video there. What did you guys think of that cleanup? Um, you think that's something you'd like to see again if you found some cool stuff? I thought it was something kind of interesting, and to be honest, I'm out of content at this point, and I was trying to find something because you see that the magnificent session was only like 6 minutes worth of it's only about 6 minutes worth of stuff, but I thought that cleanup would be pretty cool, and I might try to do that a little bit more. Maybe not spend that much time on it. Awesome, thanks, John. I really appreciate that. Love the intro. Appreciate that, Jason. I also looked at the little end cap, and I'm definitely going to have to tweak that a little bit for next week. It seems like it's really empty. But if you guys noticed on that end cap, thank you, Bob. Really appreciate that. My other intro was kind of really like boom. It was really loud and all that. Hey, Roger, appreciate you popping in here, man. I was actually going to come up to your area this week, but things just didn't work out. I had a lot of responsibilities at home to take care of, so soon. I really want to get out to Worcester. I would love to get out to some of those rivers that you guys got out there. Especially what is that? Down by Lake Quinsigamond. Tom Kingery, what's going on, dude? How are you? Appreciate you popping in here. I see you on a lot of other stuff, so let me just make sure that you are blued up. Give me a quick moment here. We'll get you on there. Appreciate you guys coming in here. But anyways, if you guys noticed, that end cap, reason why it's a little bit different. Again, I wanted to change some of the music, kind of calm things down a little bit. But as part of the membership things that we do with this channel here, one of the perks to that the second level tier or whatever sharks, I'm going to start offering up to everybody that we put your links right at the end of an end cap. I'm going to pick one shark user each week, and we will link your video, and then it will stay there forever. So as long as that video exists, yeah, I'm getting you there, Tom. I'm gonna try to blue you up here. I'm getting you there, Tom. Oh, let me turn the volume down on that. No one wants to hear this a second time. Standing. Well, there we go, Tom. I appreciate you popping in here, dude. Yeah, but not much else has really been going on, guys. That video, because it's been super cold this winter, I'm kind of tapped out on content. I have no choice but to get out this weekend. Yeah, it was a cool find. I really like that squirrel, and man, it's a voodoo bag and all, but up until yesterday, and maybe I'm just being a crazy person here or something, but up until yesterday, I was kind of on this really weird luck spree. A lot of really good things were happening, and it just kept piling on and piling on and piling on, and I'm like, what is happening here? I don't know. Maybe that was some sort of like a good voodoo bag or something. Maybe it was more of a blessing than it was a curse. It would, Jason. You've now given me a good idea about that. So I'll have to see what you know what, actually I got it right here. Oh, I still got them out from the cleanup. But yeah, if you guys can see that, let's see. No, whatever. But it's pretty cool. Carolina looked it up. I haven't tried to sell anything, Bob, no. But this might be one of the first things I try. just because, like I said, I did see it. Carolina found a listing for it on eBay, the exact same one, and they've got it listed for $99. So the one thing I really, really like, though, besides the key, was I really, really liked this axe. And I still have no idea. No, there's no markings at all on anything, Jason. But this little axe, come on. Why won't you focus? Focus. No, it wants to focus on me. Whatever, stupid camera. But this axe is really, really neat. It's metal, but that's the key too. And there's still, you can still see there's like hair stuck on it. It's really, really gross, but it's a key, a real deal key. I mean, you can see from the ends there that literally went into a door somewhere. Oh, that's a good idea too, Jason. I didn't think of that. And right now, I actually am noticing, and I didn't notice this before, there's actually a hole at the top of it. So maybe it was a necklace of some sort. It would seem really weird to be as a necklace, but I'm going to try to put it in like maybe some CLR or something because the rust really doesn't want to come off. But those were really cool items. And ever since I pulled up that bag, I've just been having like crazy, crazy luck. I got some silly award at work for the last quarter of 2024. I will try white vinegar. I usually use that on my magnets. I won some award at work. Got invited to a second boot camp with YouTube. That starts soon. I think actually tomorrow is the first. Oh, did I miss it? I think tomorrow is the first session. Oh no, did I miss it? January 22nd. No, I did miss that one. But try Coca-Cola for rust. Maybe I just drop it in, Bob. I could do that too, though. We had tons of it's a bad vice to have, but I'll try the vinegar if that doesn't work. Try the Coke. Um, yeah, some of these things are really neat. I would love to bring the key back to a point where it's actually maybe shiny and looks more metallic, but it's in really good shape. I don't know how long it's been down there, but yeah, that would be neat. Absolutely. So Josh, you were out recently. I don't know if you're still hanging around there or not. Um, one Coke a week. That's kind of what I'm getting down to, Kelly. I really have to because I was having some old person issues and I had a kidney stone last year, and Coke was part of the reason why I had issues with that, I guess. At least that's what my doctor tells me. So I'm doing a lot more coconut water, which is boring. Uh, yeah, you tried Coke too. Did it really work well for you, John? Think so? You know, maybe I'll put it in the container in a little while here and I'll just dump one of these cans of Coke right on top of these things. Might as well. You know what? Screw it, guys. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do it now. When you were 15, this one, Jason, there was no passing it. Um, Bob, I don't have an update, but I did leave a message. So I found a location that I think it's gonna be good for a lot of us because here on the Cape, there's not a lot of magnet fishers. You got Josh from 508 who lives up in Brockton. You got Brockton from Brockton, and buddies in Easton. So there's a ton of people that are um, a lot more. They're closer to that Taunton area. And a long time ago, probably last year, maybe I can try to find the link or something. But I did go to Taunton, and I was on this like 10 by 10 floating dock, kind of at this little boat launch area. And yeah, Kelly's in New York. But you know what, Kelly? Maybe you could make the hike out. It's going to be a good event. It's going to be 24 hours. The reason why I'm reaching out to the town is where this place was. Let me get back to the 10 by 10 thing. I was there for 2 hours, filled up two 5-gallon buckets, and had to leave. That's how much stuff is in this river. And I didn't leave that 10 by 10 area. So going back to the reaching out to the town. So I've got a request into the town. Um, I want to ask them because I want to do a 24-hour event. I'm going to ask them if we can possibly put tents there because it's a little bit of a park too. And if there's a few of us, and my hope is it being a 24-hour event, there will be literally people throwing a magnet for 24 hours. So there'll always be somebody awake. There will always be somebody up. So it'll be a safe place to sleep. And I'm just trying to really, really figure this one out. But really, all I need to do is get permission from Taunton. I do have a bucket company or a container company. They're going to come drop a container off. Um, so yes and no, Bob. I don't have a ton of new information. We're really, really early in the planning stage, but I would love to get this done around springtime sometime. Um, Working on it. Once I get some updates, maybe I'll start posting some community posts as I get some more communication back from these towns. Um, it would be really cool, Squirrel. I might even try to reach out to a couple food trucks that maybe know that we're going to be in the area. Not necessarily get them to post up, but um, maybe they take a swing by or something like that, kind of like an ice cream truck. But I do have some plans for it, and I think that Taunton spot is going to be really, really rich in metal, especially scrap. Not only is there this really, really long, and I mean, I'm talking maybe 500 feet of river frontage where it's just like a wall and it just drops right off to the river. So we're going to be able to set up we could probably fit 30 to 40 magnet fishers all spaced out, all throwing magnets. And then right at the end, 508, there we go. Josh is back. I don't know what I asked you a question about, Josh, but I had asked you something a moment ago. Maybe it'll come back to me. But 500 feet, 400 or 500 feet from where that 10 by 10 spot was, is an actual bridge. So we've got a bridge that people can post up at. We've got the canal that people can post up at. I really, really think it's going to be a good spot. Josh, do you remember that video that I did up in Taunton where I was just pulling up scrap after scrap after scrap? Tomcat, what is happening, dude? Appreciate you swinging by. We were just talking about some plans, and I think Bob has maybe lit a bit of a fire under me to rein it in and try to get some info going. Um, were we talking about ice cream, Jody? Oh yes, ice cream man. That's my weakness, dude. That and this stupid can, the stuff that's in this red can. But Jody, I was just talking about an event that I'm gonna try to put on. Um, Probably sometime closer to spring. Um, but it's going to benefit men's mental health. I do have to find an organization that would be into it. Maybe they can help with some of the logistics. Who knows? But it's something I really, really want to do. And we all struggle with it. You got to admit. it's kind of a God, I hate to use these words like epidemic, but it kind of is, especially with my generation and beyond that. I mean, I'm Gen X, was born in '74. We were always taught to bottle up our emotions. We were taught to put up walls, and because of that, most of us are pretty messed up nowadays. You know what I mean? I know I'm horrible with communication. I could do a lot better than it. I know when you sometimes just a tiny, tiny little argument would shut me down. I would have to walk away, and something like that could even help too, Bob. That's worth looking into. Um, that they could probably help. They've got a big reach. Yeah, that would be good too. But there's a big stigma around men's mental health, and that we shouldn't talk, and that we should just grind it out. We should just go to work, and we should shut up. And that's not fair to us. Um, so I just want this event not only to help raise money for men that are suffering with mental health issues and stuff like that, but to also prove a point that you don't have to be quiet, man. Um, we all have crap that goes on. We all have bad days. Um, God, I'll be one to admit it. I don't have one now, but that's because I didn't really click with her. But I've been to therapy. Sometimes you just have to have somebody to talk to. Um, and maybe why I'm having a little bit of an issue is lately, a couple weeks ago, my son moved to Maine, and him and I had grown really close. He was 21 years old, and we had had a kind of tumultuous um, relationship growing up. Um, exactly, 100% with that. 100%. Maybe check with NAMI. Yeah, I'll check with that. You know what? You know what? Because you guys are giving me these tips, let me just put them in my uh, let's see. I'm going to put it in a note because that's how I don't forget things. So I create a new note. Uh, let's see. Text. And let's say we'll title this one Mental Health Event. US. Yeah, but anyways, like I was saying, my son recently moved away. He's been gone for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm having a little bit of a trouble with it. Not only because he was my son, or is my son, but like I said, we had become really, really close friends, and he lived here. After his breakup with his girlfriend, he had come back home, and we had really, really gotten a really solid relationship going. That's a good one too, Jason. Okay, good to know, Jody. I'll write those down too. But we don't have to pretend anymore. Doesn't mean we all need to like. I don't know. I don't want to make it my personality, but like Kelly said, it's all right to not be okay, and that's fine. But the one thing I want to bring awareness to is that you don't have to bottle it up. You don't have to bottle it up. Yeah. Bob, I'm really, really grateful that you survived. Um, my email is always open. I'm going to create a little banner right now. If you ever need to chat about anything whatsoever, I'm always here, as are many, many other guys out there. I'm sure many would rather you be here than than not. So let's see. There we go. But yeah, I'm in the process right now of seeking out a new therapist. We did just change our Stephen. What's going on, man? Appreciate you sneaking in here. Um, oh, didn't see GMK. Did she sneak in there? Where did she sneak in? Let me go up here a little bit. Oh yeah, she did. Oh my Lord. I swear to God, I didn't mean to miss you there. But we got you on board now. Um, it's my granddaughter in my bubble. Yeah, man. We all gotta have those people around us. But I've got my other son, who is 16 years old. That dude is downstairs, and he's he's a good dude. I've always got obviously Talia, Carolina here, but sometimes there's just you gotta dump it. That's amazing, Kelly. I mean, I'd say a big part of the reason why I have so many of them is because of that. Um, I actually have this really meaningful tattoo on my belly. I don't think I'll like go showing everybody here right now because it's kind of weird. But for years, when I was really young, one of my first few tattoos, I was really into Pantera, and the guy from Pantera, Phil Anselmo, always had the word "unscarred" written across his belly. And I was like, you know what? I really like that. And I want to put something there. And I tried to find a word that I could relate to. And at that time, the word was pain. So for probably 20 years, I walked around with the word pain written across my belly. And I decided it was time, because I didn't feel like I was kind of in that headspace anymore. Um, I'm in a good spot right now. Of course, it still struggles, but I'm in a good spot now, and I decided I wanted to cover it up with something. And I've done a lot with like Eastern thought philosophies, learned a lot about meditation, specifically through Buddhism. And so I wanted to get a tree on my belly. And when I sat there and I talked to the tattoo artist, he was like, why don't we, he kind of threw out some ideas, and he was like, why don't we do this and that? And we'll put a tree there. But in order to cover up that word pain, why don't we um, put roots over it, almost like these just gnarly roots. It almost looks like a death metal logo. But those roots, okay, and this was his idea behind it all, where those roots were everything was kind of rooted in that pain, but out of that pain came that tree. And there's these, it doesn't come up all the way here. I'm just kind of explaining it. Um, but it comes up and it shows that growth, the newness, the tree, the stillness. There was actually a guy sitting under the tree, meditating. Uh, so that's where that story of that tattoo comes from. And not everybody sees that, 'cause it's not like I walk around with a shirt off or anything. But I thought it was a cool idea for a tattoo. And that's how I kind of deal with a lot of stuff, is through things that are painful. That's kind of my coping mechanism. I've got my kids' names on me. Those are always constant reminders. I've got one of my son's names here, both my other kids here. I've got some stuff in my ribs. It's just as I go through life, he is a great tattoo artist, dude. As I go through life and the stories change, I kind of adapt the tattoos, and I might cover one up with something new because I've moved on from that other stage. Um, I've actually got these two on my left arm. There's one I'll never ever cover up because it's this band called Typo Negative, which actually you can see right here on the headphones. These are it's a type of headphones called heavies, and you can get custom mounts for it. So I got a typo negative mount on that. But right underneath it is this tattoo I'd love to cover up. So that's going to be my next project. I got to figure out something I want to get on that. Maybe that'll have something 100% Kelly. 100%. That's one of my favorite songs because as sad as it is, okay, I mean, there's no way around it. It's inevitable. But learning how to live is really where the trick is. You know what I mean? We all know everything dies, and I'm okay with that. But we have to learn how to live before we can die. You know? So yeah, I got an opportunity a long time ago. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I don't think any New Englanders are in here. Maybe Steven does. I don't know if he'd remember this, but in Providence used to be a place called Club Babyhead. I know that sounds kind of scary, whatever, but there were a lot of shows that would go on there. And this was maybe 91, 92. Um, Typo Negative came and they played. And this was, I'm telling you, very, very small club. They had just put out the album Bloody Kisses, and they played their whole set. It was awesome. Probably one of the best, most like intimate shows I'd ever seen ever. And Peter kind of was hanging out on the stage afterwards, and I was really, really lucky to have the opportunity to go up and chat with him, shake his hand. Um, Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, that's what it is, man. You know, I did mention the whole Eastern philosophy thing, and I'm not a really big religious person, guys. I really try not to bring a lot of this stuff in here, but I actually walked away from it because of all of the dogma and stuff like that that was kind of involved in it. I got really into it. I had a teacher and stuff, but I think all these religions at the core of them are all to have the same message. And that's, same type of thing you're talking about here, Jason. Um, it could have been Stephen. I'm not exactly the sure when it changed, but it was around for a really long time. I'd seen a ton of bands there. Um, my point is I do believe that we are beings of energy, and just like any other type of energy, it never really truly dispels. I mean, you guys when we throw magnets in the water, it splashes down, and then you see those ripples that just kind of keep coming out. That's our life, and we are that ripple. And eventually, after a long time, that ripple does dissipate, but then it happens again because someone else throws a rock, and there we come back again. You know what I mean? There's that ripple. That's enough of that. I don't want to go into these crazy philosophical debates because I try to steer clear of that, guys. I try to steer clear of that. And politics, there's so much divisive stuff going on now. I even just told people, Aquadonkey, you're not blue. What's going on, dude? How are you? Um, I actually just posted on Facebook because that place has become a cesspool. Hey, Jack, how are you, buddy? Appreciate you popping in here too. Um, but yeah, I just can't do it. There's so much stress, and everybody is so caught up in trying to be right. It's amazing therapy, Bob. Facebook has become one of the most toxic social media things. I was on TikTok, but like an idiot, I wasn't sure if it was going to come back. So I deleted the app. Didn't delete my account. It's still there. It still exists. But I deleted TikTok off my phone to free up some space. And I can't get it again. Absolutely, Aquadonkey. I mean, we're all part of the same community here, my man, whether we're prospecting, which speaking of which, I still got this bag of dirt from GP. that I have to that I got to pan out here, man. I got to get with him one of these days and have him kind of do what he did with Brockton, where he kind of did like a live panning with him. But yeah, 100%. That's really why I do it, Jason. That Sasuit Harbor video that you guys just watched tonight, that wasn't uh that wasn't meant to be a video. I just kind of went out and I was filming and whatever, but um I kind of just got out of the house. I think I went live the other day too, and I didn't even bring a camera with me just to get out of the house. I do a lot of the times when I'm not live, I'm still magnet fishing out there, but I really enjoy chatting with everybody um, while I'm magnet fishing. That's also helps out a ton with the mental health thing because I'm not so much in my head. Um, yeah, I'm hoping so, Okadunky. I mean, I've already kind of opened the bag up a little bit, and I can see some little bits, like little gems and stuff that are on top here, tiny little rocks. This is nothing like that. It's nothing like that vacuum bag. The vacuum bag. That was crazy to watch panning of the GP's vacuum bag. Oh, I know it's in there guaranteed. I know he told me he usually does like he'll top it with these a little bit. I did just get this aqua. It's just a little kit. Not super crazy just yet. But I got it off Amazon. You know, it comes with a little scoop or whatever. Um, I'm not really sure. Oh, you know what? These are just like some tweezers and stuff. And maybe that's a magnifying glass too. That's a magnifying glass. That's ridiculous. This kit was like super cheap too. And then it comes with a couple vials for some flakage for some shiny stuff. That's such a great idea, Bob. It's exactly what I do. Magnet fishing is for me, and as you can see by our conversation here, music is another huge thing for me. And people don't get it. I understand it, and I don't need people to understand it. But heavy metal, I'm talking the louder, the heavier, the better. I can take myself from here to about here by listening to maybe one or two songs, max capacity. That's why I have these. These headphones are much different. Um, Besides having a speaker right here, they've also got these little, you can't see it so well on the camera, but they got these little tweeters that are inside the cup. So the spatial sound is amazing. Not only is the high end really clear and crisp, but that pounding double bass. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I know. You want to come up. That's really why I listen to this stuff. Come on, you got it. I know. Angel's trying to come up to say hi. She doesn't actually want to talk. Yeah, you just got to find ways, man. And rather than being an ass hat, can I say that? Is that one of those censored words? Rather than being an ass hat, ass clown, I don't know, jerk, I'll go throw on music. And and that too, Jason. She does want her own YouTube channel. But she's got to start. She's got to. I should maybe do something for cat mental health too. This cat's crazy. I'm the only one in the house she doesn't bite, but she bites everybody else in the house. Um, but yeah, yeah, that was a lot. We came into this live a little hot tonight, guys, chatting about all that stuff. But Jason, what are what's your plans for your channel? And we've all seen the name change. And I pushed out that short that you did. Are you working on content for the first video, man? Oh, don't prove me wrong. There we go. I thought she was going to bite me. That's what I just told you. Absolutely, dude. The reason why I shared it, Jason, is the same reason that everybody else, this community is so absolutely amazing. I mean, every single person in here in this channel, it may not be magnet fishers, it might be metal detectors, prospectors, um, but this community is super, super amazing. And they helped me. Everybody helped me get to where I am. So if I can just help a smidge, I'm more than happy to do it. And I don't know, again, we're going back to the whole luck with the voodoo bag thing. I don't know why I was asked back to do another boot camp with YouTube, but literally once I learn all this stuff, all this knowledge that I get, um, I'm hoping to be able to pass that along to everybody because there's some really good information out there. A lot of stuff that we assume about the algorithm isn't necessarily true. Um, that would be awesome, Jason. But I'm not going to steal your idea, promise. But that's a great idea, dude. Absolutely great idea. What are you doing, kitty kitty? Well, let's see. Yeah, I try not to steal ideas. I do steal spots. Stolen a couple Brockton spots before you got there. I don't mind it. A7X. What? A7X. Have to look that one up, Bob. But yeah, that's it. There he is. This Colonel. How are you, buddy? Really appreciate you popping in here. We were just talking earlier about the whole end cap thing. Um, and even though you don't have like a super recent video or anything like that, I just wanted to, oh, Avenged Sevenfold. Okay, I get you. Um, I did put one of your videos in the end cap. It's just something I'm trying to do a little different, offer up some value, and everybody that's been in the channel for now. I am going to use you guys to post your videos for now. I just got to tweak the end cap a little bit. Some of the wording didn't line up or whatever, so we'll see about that. But hopefully, I just kind of my way of giving back a little bit. Not that I have a ton to offer everybody, but it doesn't hurt to get put out there in front of 3,000 subscribers. I mean, the video might not get 3,000 views, but hey, if it gets 100, that's 100 views. Doesn't hurt. Avenged Sevenfold. I haven't seen them. I think they recently came around here, but Talia is really, really trying to get me to bring her to a concert. And the closest these guys are going to come around is in New York. But there's a band called Meshuggah, um, which is kind of like this progressive heavy metal, or I wouldn't really call them prog metal. I call them more math. 100%. 100%, dude. And this one helps out a ton too. A few months ago, over the past year, I've lost two of my dogs. It's been a tumultuous year, man. 2024 was rough. If it weren't for this channel and this community, it'd probably be in a little bit of a darker spot. No, I'm not good at math either, man. But these guys, if you listen to some of the time signatures by Meshuggah, there's a song called Bleed, and their drummer is an absolute monster. His timing is ridiculous. You could try to count. You could be like, oh yeah, this is what is this in four? And the next thing you know, before you've counted to four, and he's gone five. And then the next one's four. Then the next one's three. But anyways, Meshuggah's playing, and that's not really the buy-in for her. Um, Band called Carcass from England. They've been around since the late 80s. Probably one of the first like death metal bands that I listened to. And I've seen them a bunch, but I'd love to see them before they don't play anymore. I'm not good at instruments either. That's why I scream. uh, but they're also playing with Cannibal Corpse. And I know that name scares some people, but let me tell you a little bit of information about Cannibal Corpse. Their lead singer is a guy named George Fisher, who actually has this silly little nickname, Corpse Grinder or whatever. This guy is such a cool dude that when they're on tour, he absolutely loves claw machines, the ones that are at like arcades and stuff that pick up stuffed animals. This dude, I'm telling you, he's got a neck the size of a tree trunk. He's giant. He's scary looking to most people because he's a death metal guy and he's always wearing those death metal hats, or death metal shirts, whatever. But he'll go from tour stop to tour stop and hit all the claw machines that he can, throw all of his winnings, all those stuffed animals into trash bags, and he'll bring them to children's homes. So that way kids can get birthday gifts, kids can get Christmas gifts, or just have a gift to make them feel better. So I really, really love when I hear people that talk so badly about the death metal community and they don't understand it at all. Sure, you might hear chaos. You might hear like literally the gates of hell have opened up. But at the end of the day, that guy goes home. He's a caring, compassionate person. And most of them are. That's why I love the community. I remember taking Carolina to her first death metal concert probably a couple of years ago, right after COVID cleared. And a band named Cattle Decapitation played. I know that sounds scary too, but they're not. Um, and all the openers were just local guys, and they're not bad bands, but they're just not polished. Cattle is really, really polished. And when they came on, she knew it. She knew that they were that much more talented. The production was good. Travis, the lead singer, his vocal skills are impeccable. And these dudes, the same thing. Afterwards, they'll sit down, they'll talk to you, they'll hang out with you. A lot of them like to eat broccoli. So I'll go out behind the club and eat broccoli with them. Um, yeah. In our mentally screwed up minds. That's exactly it, Bob. This, that's exactly it. Because not necessarily the voice, when you're hearing that growling and all that stuff, sure, it sounds scary, but think of the voice as an instrument. It's just another sound to mix, you know? And there may be times, oh, come on, Kelly, broccoli, it's green. But yes, um, people just don't get it. And that's fine. They don't have to get it. I'm not poo-pooing on other types of music either. I listen to literally everything. I've shown it before on lives. I've got everything under the sun, 100%. That's the type of broccoli I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a little bit more on the DL calling it broccoli though. But yeah, metal's just very, very misunderstood. It's more of a vibe than it is anything else. And to be perfectly honest, guys, I'm working on another channel, and it's going to be yeah, I wish as soon as this thing's over. um, I'm going to start start a channel and just react to music. And I will occasionally, there goes Angel. Now I can put my sleeping foot back down on the ground. Just reactions. Um, I did some research, and I think everybody here has probably heard it, but reaction videos are some of the most monetized videos on YouTube. And believe it or not, within the metal community, if one band puts out like a really crazy song and it catches fire and gets a buzz, all these reactors will immediately go after it. And next thing you know, some of these guys are getting hundreds of thousands of views just for listening to music live and saying, "Yep, I like that. Oh, wow, did you hear that?" I come from that world, I come from that heavy metal background. I mean, God, look here, Um, I actually just got that commented on tonight when I went and picked up some food. But I come from the background. I was in a band for years. Jason's, I've sent him something. Yeah. And how strange is that, Jason? That's awesome. That is cool, isn't it? Isn't it, Bob? What's funny is Talia's friends, they're all 12, 13 years old, and they think it's funny that her stepdad is who he is. Because they'll listen to music, and Talia has actually become like our number one listener on Spotify. Um, yeah, it's interesting. But Jason, I listen to hip hop too. Country, I have a hard time with a lot of the new stuff. Not bad, just not my vibe. I like the older stuff. Um, I like Americana style country music. That stuff is really good. But if I had a choice, 99.9% of the time, I'm choosing metal over everything for me. Um, but I did mention a while ago, guys, about my band possibly reuniting for a show. Um, yeah, I don't know what he is. I think he's more like a jam band type style. I think. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I don't think he's. I think he's kind of one of those genreless types of artists, which is actually pretty amazing that somebody can do things like that. Um, but anyways, the band. I was just talking to the guitarist because we're relearning a lot of the material. We haven't played together in a really long time. And the guitarist that he was able to pick up was somebody who was also played in our band for a little bit. Um, he brought up an interesting point and was talking about how if we're going to put all this time and effort into relearning all the songs, practicing, loading up equipment for this one show, why not write again? Why not think about putting together an album? The band did kind of evolve away from our original sound, and he kind of brought up some points about going back to that sound. And I wasn't sure how the rest of the guys were going to buy into that because, we're getting older. I don't know if I can handle playing more than a couple shows in a month, but or even practicing that much. I don't know if my voice can handle it. I know that was actually awesome. Remember you're showing pictures of that, Jason. But we've all agreed, and that's the plan. So now I got to reach out to that dude and let him know that yes, this will be worth it, and we would love to have him as part of the writing process because he wasn't. When he was playing with us, he was just playing the music that we had already written. None of that material was his. So I'm starting to go back, and I do lots of that, Jason. And I hate to say it, but when I'm on stage itself, I do a lot of beer really helps. especially helps too. But I'm relearning some techniques because I used to breathe air in to make that really deep growl sound, and my voice doesn't do that anymore. So I'm relearning how to do everything, and I'm trying to do it the healthy way because there is, believe it or not, a healthy way to growl and scream without hurting your voice, and I don't want to do that again. So that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. But I'm really excited to write again. I haven't. I did most of our writing, um, at least lyric wise. I didn't do a lot of the music writing because I'm not a guitarist. I'm not a drummer. I'm not a bassist. Oh, I don't know about that one, Bob. Maybe they'll come by and hang out. I don't know about that one. I don't think the town of Taunton would appreciate that. We did play one open air show here on the Cape in the town of Falmouth, and it was right down by a marina, and it was in the spring. And we had, because it was here on the Cape, we booked it ourselves, and we invited maybe five other bands that were all friends with us. And we had people at the marina screaming at us to shut it off. But the town had given us permission from X to X. You already said, sup, Jack? Keep popping in and out of something, bro. I might go back to Saquatucket sometime soon here, Jack. I might have to get a couple hours in there. You know what? You know what, dude? Jack, I think I might go there tomorrow with my son Colin. Because a lot of those boats are gone, right? Have they pulled up the docks too? Do you know? Jack, you must be doing midterms too. Colin, my son's doing midterms. But Saquatucket had a lot of stuff when we were there. I'd love to go back there again. Uh, let's see. Let's see the answers. Another difference too, Jason, that I'm going to do a little different than last time is I never used to warm up at all. At this time, I got to do it. I can't afford to lose my voice. Um, and I'd hate to halfway through a show blow it out. Um, I'm going to guess that Jack maybe popped in and then popped back out again. So maybe he'll catch that I did just found a few spots in Google Earth in my area. Add as your best friend, Jason. Speaking of Jason and finding spots. Oh yeah, he is back. Okay, so Jason from Motor City Magnets. I was recently talking to him, commenting back and forth on one of his videos when he had found a caltrop, which I've yet to get. Um, I had asked him how he kind of tried to how he found it, but he told me that he would use Google. Um, yeah, that too. He uses Google Earth as well, but for specific things like that, if he's maybe going out to find something historic that day, he will go onto Google Earth and he'll find capital. You know what I mean? Capital of the state or whatever, or wherever he wants to go magnifishing, and he'll follow old pathways or old cartways that maybe had led up to that capital at one point in time. And that's where he seems to find a lot of these caltrops. And caltrops are, I don't know if you all know what they are, but um that's awesome, Jody. It's something I'm definitely really wanting to get. So I'm gonna have to come out to the Midwest this summer. Event or no event. I'll have to come out there for a few days. But caltrops, for anyone who don't know, were used in Civil War and other stuff. Yeah, exactly. They're just like jacks. And they're just meant to disrupt the horse. It's meant to either split the hoof, or cause them to roll their ankle. They're really, really nasty things, but at the same time, they're very, very interesting. It's kind of like finding a bullet or a gun, except these things you actually get to take home. Cops aren't going to come and take caltrops from you. Exactly where mine came from. Yeah. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, Jason, for some of my next few videos. Once I can get out a little bit farther, um, follow some of those capitals. I might even, I've been all over Boston, and the Charles River is usually, I can go anywhere on the Charles River and find something. But I would love, I'd love to find some historical stuff, especially after doing this last cleanup video. It was pretty awesome. Railroad tracks would be a good one too, dude. Yeah, especially the tracks that have been there forever and ever. We actually have this spot in Wellfleet, Jason, that I'm trying to get to. Because believe it or not, there used to be a train that would go all the way from the canal, the Cape Cod Canal here, all the way up to Provincetown. Um, and there used to be a bridge, a railroad bridge, that would go into Wellfleet, and that's where one of the depots were. That depot is now just all offices, but you can still see the old bridge. There's old timbers that are, stuck up out of the ground. Some of them are leaning, but one side of that is on some private property, and the other side of it is in the woods. And I don't know how to get to those woods. So I think I'm just going to have to maybe scout it out one of these days. But I would love to go out there. I know there's going to be stuff because of that um, old railroad. I'm sure there's tons of spikes, but the railroad doesn't even exist anymore. It's completely broken down. Jason Miner, what is happening, dude? How are you tonight, man? We were just talking about, and you've seen me talk about it over and over again. I still got to pan this bag. I got to get on GP to get going on that. Maybe one of these weeks when we do a live, I could figure out how to set up multiple cameras and do that. Email the old railroad needs some pass line tracks. That's a good one too. Jason, one of the things that I'm really going to try to do more of in the spring is metal detect. And I've actually started asking places. Um, there's this gentleman who just purchased a church in the town of Truro, and that church has been on that property since 1870. And I asked him if, when everything is not so frozen anymore, if I can go over there with my detector. And he says that he's good with it. I just got to get in touch with him. So I'm super, super excited about that one. Churches are one of the better spots to go and detect at, because people have been going there for, decades and decades and decades, sometimes hundreds of years, depending on the age of the church. And I mean, here in the Cape, we've had structures here for hundreds of years. Good Lord. Holy crap, dude. It has been ridiculously cold. But I'm really, really glad that you were able to be good now. Um, uh, I can't imagine not only dealing with that, but I can't imagine what some of these folks in Florida are dealing with. Um, and these guys, most of them don't have heat because they don't generally need it. And those guys are now sitting under 5 to 6 inches of snow. And it's really dang cold for those dudes. Ooh, man, that's brutal. -21 is no bueno whatsoever. Uh, that's pretty cool, Jason. Um, yeah, I don't like the cold much anymore, Jason. I can't do this any longer. I appreciate you, Steven. Thanks for popping in here, dude. Stay safe. I don't know if you've been noticing lately, but seems like the people here on Cape have just lost their ever-loving minds. Um, Nearly got in an accident yesterday. There's been accidents up and down my road here. I think people have forgotten how to drive in the cold. So yeah, -10 was cold. I can't do that much anymore. We're coming up on 8:50 here, guys. And kind of like what Steven's doing, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. Shane's thing does start here at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm actually going to go sneak and try to find that link so we can pop that in here. Let's grab myself earlier, but 11 went to it. Yeah, I actually I talked about this a while ago, Jason. I don't know if you were in or around, but I used to do a lot of endurance events and things like that. And it doesn't look like he's live. Oh, you know what? He might be. No, it doesn't look like he's live. Well, very nuts. Um, I used to be big into endurance events, and the last event that I did before I decided to hang up my running shoes, climbing boots, and all that stuff. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. We're following shortly after here. But I did a race once and I lasted for a little under 20 hours, hiking up and down this mountain, knee deep snow, carrying the team of us carrying 600-pound logs up and down. And it was -20 the whole entire time. This was in Pittsfield, Vermont, on the top of a mountain, climbing up and down and up and down. And we had to go to the top every single time because there was this cabin up there that everybody called Shrek's cabin. So we would have to hike to Shrek's, come back down. And here's the thing, because this was the death race, you weren't allowed to take trails. You weren't allowed to take roads. You had to bushwhack. And so you've got your pack on you, which is full of everything that they tell you to bring. And the death race is absolutely ridiculous. So you've got stupid stuff in your backpack that you're never even going to use. Um, I remember, yeah, it was ridiculous. My point is, it was -20. Yeah. You know what though, Jason? I did, like I said, at 20 hours I dropped out, but it was kind of in a memory of my father. My stepdad had passed a long time before that. It was 2015. And this race was done kind of in dedication to him. I lasted 20 years, 20 hours. And I know it sounds nuts, but I kind of felt this energy slash vibe, voice. I was wiped out and he had told me I'd done enough. So I went into the thing, gave them my bib, said, have a nice day. And I noticed that last year's death race winner had already quit before me. So as far as I'm concerned, my dad said I was good, and I went farther than the previous year's champion. So while I didn't walk away with any win, I did walk away with my pride and a feeling of accomplishment. And I went inside, got a cup of hot cocoa, might have put a little something else in there to warm myself up, but it was a great time. So, anyways, with that, guys, I'm actually going to take off here. It's almost 9 o'clock. Got some stuff to do. Kids got to go to school tomorrow. Colin has one more midterm to do. But Jack, if you're still around, I'm going to be down at Saquatucket. Yeah, same for me, man. Unfortunately, I'm down to just one, but that one, I'm not kicking that one. We'll talk to you guys all later. I really, really, really am grateful that you all came in here this week. I had a good time. And if there is an update about this event, if I hear anything from anybody, I will be happy to share it with everybody. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later on.